Welcome back to Case Closed, Anime Review, episode 161. Yeah, unlike last week, I actually reviewed this the day it comes out. Yes, the episode I'm discussing here is episode 1049 of Prince Meguire's career. The first thing I gotta discuss here is the fact, before I talk about the episode itself, which is a pretty simple episode, it's a good character episode of Meguire. Now, this episode's got a new opening title sequence. Love the visuals, not really a big fan of the song, which is called Sparkle. It's okay. Now, I loved the last two opening title sequences. They were amazing. Just that they were not around very long. Like the one they had before, which is called Sleepless. Great title. 16 episodes they used it for. The previous one used it for 12, and the one before that was 20. Not sure why they replaced it. It was a damn good song. I love Sleepless, because it makes you like excited to watch the episode. Even the episode may not be good or not, but at least it was a damn good song. This is just okay. The visuals are like felt very random, and like you have Conan wearing the disguises Tichi wears in the series, for also being disguised as the Kaido kid for some reason. Yeah, I thought this was kind of weird. Yeah, by far, it's not a terrible overtime sequence. It's just that it's odd, but I like the visuals look great, except that for some reason they have it where like the song it's not good per se. It's okay. Nothing against the singer. I think she was okay with lyrics, but it feels like this has no energy to it at all. No. Okay. The episode itself, basically, we have a guy who was found dead at the start of the episode. How did he die? Whacked head with the object. Yeah, typical for the series here. Whacked or probably stabbed. Nobody's ever shot and killed in the series. Not even the anime original stuff. We have characters got guns, but here's the thing. Nobody's ever really shot to death in the series, which is kind of interesting. As far as I can tell, there's no reason for it. They could have done it for at least anime original content. Nope, they didn't. So, finding out in the woods, and they go to the guy's house, and discover that this pot, this big heavy pot, was in fact the murder weapon. Like, okay. And then they suspect this other guy who Meguire had actually suspected before in a different case 3 years prior to this in the series. And he was released due to lack of this other he confessed. He was later fired from his job, though it turns out anyways the guy was actually behind it all along. Took a while to basically get to it. As I investigating and found out that his alibi was nothing more than basically the plows. Because it turns out what happened with this guy after, well, going to various people. The guy was briefly arrested. Of course, Meguire was. Now you're probably thinking, how did Conan and Mori got a chance to get involved with this? Well, unlike usually a lot of the time for these original episodes, these two are just walking home and they randomly just happen to stumble on the crime scene. This one, no, Meguire goes to request for help, which is a bit unusual for the series. I at least appreciate, though, it breaks the usual formula for these anime original content episodes, where it's like, oh, we have random things happen. We have just random crime scene, which sometimes these anime original episodes open the same exact way. Conan and Mori just going someplace and just happen to come across the crime scene. That's usually how a lot of these anime original episodes open. This one, nope. As a matter of fact, they don't show up until about 6 minutes. Like, it's not like that open house. They're not even cold opening for this episode. Nope. They're actually there. Like, it's not until close to about halfway through the episode that's when they actually feature the titular characters. Also, for some reason, they handle the arrest in a flashback. I thought that was a bit unusual. Yes, they arrest the guy. Of course, I mentioned about talking to a spear. Who, by the way, does not appear in the episode, mind you. Nope. They mention him. Yeah, this episode felt like, though, it could have been a two-parter, but for some reason they just didn't want to do that at all, so basically they made it a standalone episode. By the way, how did the guy manage to commit the murder? This is he's apparently meeting a woman. Well, he did meet him prior to that. drugged him with sleeping pills, then just ransacked his place, put some of his hair and blood on the object where they found the supposed murder weapon, and he puts him in his car. Then while he's on break for 10 minutes, he's supposed to get cigarettes. He then proceeds to use a special weapon that he made based upon the particular object, which he forged like water and stone. He used that to kill the guy and then dump the guy in the woods. And then, like, right after he meets the woman the very next day, apparently he decides to crash his car and apparently disintegrate to a crisp. Like, apparently it was nothing of the car. I've heard of car explosions before, but not to the point where like barely anything left of the car. Yeah, I thought that was a bit unusual. Which that seems a bit unrealistic when it comes to the series. Usually there's something left. Usually a lot of the time the frames of these cars are very much made of very strong metal to withstand burning. But are you saying that somehow that even the metal of this car, was this car cheaply made? Don't know. And of course, like usual, they have a abduction show in the episode, which is in the woods. And by the way, Conan is not hiding behind the tree when he does his explanation. He's actually in the tree. I'm like, that's interesting. By the way, how they find the weapon is quite interesting. They had the guy on purpose over here about we found physical evidence. And the evidence is basically the weapon. Like, and look, it's a trap. They follow them right with murder weapons. Basically, he left right there. And then they arrest him on the spot. Yeah. Really interesting episode, per se. I like the fact we have a character, he's Megure. But I felt as though this episode, watching it felt a bit rushed. Like they just had to speed stuff along. And also, they had to speed the previous arrest up really quickly. Like, they couldn't basically make this a two-parter. Or, I don't know. Oh, God forbid we actually do this. Make this longer than 23 minutes. I mean, this show has done hour-long episodes before. Heck, there was an episode that was 2.5 hours long I've seen for this series. And yet this one, they could have stretched it more for some reason. Also, and this I thought was a big hiccup for the episode, we had Conan drawn like he was back in the early episodes of the series. Yeah, I thought this is kind of weird. Like, in the action, when we first seen the episode, it looks like he's drawing normally, the way he's been drawing the last several years on screen. And then one part of the episode, he's randomly looking like the way he did back in the first episode. For some strange reason. It's weird, and it might be an animation error. But Mori has not really changed much at all. Conan has changed, because how he's drawn with the animation has changed drastically since the 90s. Yes, it has. But this is not a terrible episode per se. It is interesting ideas, this one. It just felt a bit rushed. That's simply the best way to put it for this one. Yep. But yeah, not much else to say this episode. And that's going to be pretty much it for this video. And it for videos tonight. Tomorrow, expect a total number about 3 videos tomorrow. My Hero Academia, possibly do chat the manga, One Piece, and Barto. And that's it. Might be more, but who knows, okay? Next video. Bye.